beautiful souls. It's great to connect with you here. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. If you're a returning tribe member, welcome back. I love you all. Thank you so much for your continued support. All right, lovelies, let's get into it. Is this thing on? Hello, beautiful soul. Shin Dynasty here. I hope you all are doing well today. Today, let's talk about the quantum structure and frequency. Frequency, vibration, let's get into it. Let's also talk about the dimensions. Why not? Let's throw a bonus in there. So, okay, why is the quantum structure so important? The quantum structure basically explains to us how all of this nonsense on Earth works. Not only the nonsense, I'm not going to keep calling it nonsense. Not only the goings on here on Earth, but everywhere in the universe. Frequency, your vibration as it is the language of the universe. If there were to be a universal language that all living beings in all universi, because there's more than one universe, it's more than several, across galaxies, everywhere, if there's one common language in all of this amazingness, it's frequency, okay? It's vibration. Now, let's talk about how that works into the quantum structure. Basically, the quantum structure as it pertains to you and I, our lives here on this planet, in this particular realm, is that we are always creating new realities. Here's a reality that you're seeing me in right now. Here's a new reality. Here's a new reality. Okay? And now, if I were to, and all of those different realities that you just saw and that you're seeing now, a new one, is all along this timeline. So now you understand what I mean by when I say timeline. Reality. Think of reality as a circle in time. And you're right there. It's in the here and now. You're in this reality that you had created in a past reality. Your thoughts and your emotionality has created the reality that you are in currently, right this moment, okay? And in this current reality, your thoughts and emotions are creating your next reality and your reality after that, and so on and so forth, okay? So I want you to think of your reality as a circle, as circular, okay? And the reality is in the here and now. And how I'm thinking right now, how I'm feeling right now is creating, is manifesting where I will be in my next reality right now, okay? Just shifted into another reality. Here's another one, okay? It happens that fast, all right? So we are constantly creating new realities, okay? Now, all of those realities that you just saw me shift through, which you're currently shifting through as well, in your own realities on your own timeline, all of these realities that you're seeing me go through right now, in the here and now, are on the same timeline. And why is that? Because I'm vibrating at the same or a very similar frequency from moment to moment to moment. Okay? Now, if something were to happen, that really if I were to receive some devastating news, I don't want that, universe, okay? I'm giving an example for the people on YouTube and Patreon, please. We don't want any bad news. Okay, so if that were to happen, I would immediately shift from this reality on this timeline to a new reality on a different timeline. Okay? Now, why are timelines important? Timelines are important because our realities and our timelines dictate our outcomes in life. Okay? So, wherever I'm resonating, whatever my vibration is in this moment, determines what my next reality will be. And it also determines what my outcomes will be in that reality. So if I want high vibrational outcomes, I want wins, I want success, I want positive things to occur to me. I want, all the blockages released. I want to be free. If that's what I want, then I have to create that right now to ensure that the next reality and the next reality and the one after that and the one after that are bringing me the positive outcomes that I desire. Okay? Now you can see how this works in the negative, right? So say something occurs in your life and you're just really in the pits. You're really, in that low vibrational energy. You're sad, you're disappointed, maybe you're depressed, okay? And so it's a very low vibrating energy, right? So now you're in a reality which you created, which is in a low vibrational timeline, okay? And this low vibration is creating your next reality, your reality after that, after that, after that, and are creating outcomes that match your vibration. All right? Now, when I talk about the quantum structure as it pertains to you and I in the here and now, this is what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about realities. First, I'm speaking about our vibration at any given time. Then I'm speaking about how our vibration, which is created through our thoughts and feelings working together, okay, creates our vibration. Our vibration creates our reality, and our realities create timelines and create outcomes that match the frequency, the vibration in which we are vibrating at any given time. Okay? Okay, for my beautiful, powerful visual learners, we're going to pause the video real quick and I'm going to explain this, map this out. I drew this process out so you can see it while I'm going to walk you through it verbally here. Okay, so, and then you're going to see it all on these pieces of paper that I drew the entire quantum structure process out on, okay? We're going to start real quick with vibration, and basically vibration are just electromagnetic waves plus cycles, okay? This is how we measure vibration frequency. We measure that electromagnetic waves plus cycles plus time. Now, for those of you who wonder where vibration and frequency come from, like how it's created, vibration and frequency, I'm going to make a video breaking all of that down. Basically, it's the structure of a carbon atom. So you have the positively charged ions, the protons, and the negatively charged ions, the neutrons, that make up the nucleus of a carbon atom, okay? And the electrons are spinning around this nucleus very rapidly, okay? And each time an electron passes by another electron, it creates waves, okay? It creates waves. This is where vibration and frequency comes from, okay? And so, and I'm, like I said before, I'm going to break all of that down, but I don't want to get too heavy in the science right now, because I'm just kind of covering the basis of all of this to kind of lay a foundation of knowledge, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty of this in another video. Will be like very science heavy, okay? For those of you who like to go there, with your level of understanding, we're definitely going to go there, okay? But for now, You can see on the screen right now, vibration, how vibration, what that looks like, how that's measured, and frequency. Okay. And it's important for you to understand right now that your thoughts, okay, and your emotions are vibrations that is frequency that is vibrating very fast. Okay, it's rapid. All right, and the slower the flow there, that squiggly line, the slower that vibration gets, the more solid a thing becomes. Okay, so we can measure when you look at when you read vibration, when vibration is when it's vibrating very quickly, that's the level of spirit. That's the level of all things unseen. You can't see your thoughts, right? Okay, you can't see your emotions. Okay, your emotions and your thoughts aren't tangible things. You can't grab them in your hand and say, this is my emotion or this is my thought. No, you can't do that. Your thoughts and your emotions are vibrating very quickly. And so they are unseen to you. Okay, they're just things that are happening. Okay, but you cannot see them. You can't grab them and hold them and, whatever. All right. So your thoughts and emotions dictate your resonance, okay? Dictate your frequency, okay? And again, that's the electrons that are whizzing past each other, circling around the positive and negatively charged ions of protons and neutrons that are creating these waves, okay? And the distance between those wavelengths are determining what frequency you're currently vibing at. Okay, now we're going to the next slide here. Now this dot represents you. Okay, represents you. This circle represents your reality. This is the reality that you have created in this moment. Okay, and each circle represents a new reality. And remember what I said previously, you can go switch reality to reality every moment, every second, even millisecond. You switch into a new reality, okay? So remember that. And, okay, now this line here kind of looks like a little road here. This is what we call your timeline, okay? And it's important for you to understand that you create multiple timelines within your life, okay? So, as you can see below here, example 1, a high vibe reality timeline. Okay, I have an example there. It shows your timeline on the high vibe, the high frequency, and it shows the circles, which represents you going from reality to reality to reality to reality, and you being in the center of your realities. Okay? And then the example below that is the low vibe timeline. Okay? And you can see the squiggly line on top of the high vibe here and how compact that squiggly line is. That's what vibration looks like, so to speak, when it's at a high frequency. Okay? And you see how slow this line, this vibe looks down here? How low? That's when a vibration is very low. It's going very slowly. Okay, there's a lot of distance in between the wavelengths. Whenever you see that, when there's a lot of distance in between the wavelengths, that's a very low vibration. It's a lower frequency, it's a lower resonance. And these low vibrations create physical matter. Okay? So when you are vibing low, everything is very dense. It's very heavy. Okay? Because the lower your frequency gets, the more you become materialized. okay, it becomes more and more difficult to move and to shift and to see things clearly. When you're vibing really high and your resonance is going fast, and there's a very short distance between the wavelengths, when your frequency's high like that, then you're lighter, okay? Your mind, everything's lighter, everything can move more freely, all right? You're not in this sluggish energy, just kind of struggling to move and to make sense of things and this and that and to see things and whatever, okay? That's why when you're vibrating high, life is easier and things work out in your favor more often, because you become in a flow where you can see things more clearly. It gives you clarity of mind. It puts you in a power position, because you then are seeing many, many, many things in that high vibe position that people who are vibrating down here and people who are vibrating on a frequency where there's a lot of distance between the wavelengths that they're emitting, people, they can't see what you can see, okay? And they can't feel what you can feel. Okay, so you're collecting on a high vibe, you're collecting way more data. You have way more information that you're able to apply to your life. It puts you ahead of the game. You understand? So that's that, okay? Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring up the next picture here. Now this is how the quantum structure looks when we kind of put all of that knowledge together, okay? Now I'll give you an example of this. Now, as you can see, I labeled these timelines. Here's a higher vibe, here's a high vibe, here's a low vibe, here's a lower vibe timeline. Okay, you can see that very clearly there. And you can see off to the far right, my right, that that the high vibe, the higher vibe, and the high vibe timelines create high vibe outcomes, high vibrational outcomes. High vibrational outcomes are your actual true desires. Okay, high vibrational outcomes are you being financially free, are you being in a loving, committed, loyal relationship, you having the career of your dreams, you living in a your preferred location within the world. Okay, all of these high vibrational outcomes, you raising your children to be incredible adults, all of this stuff resides in the higher vibe, okay, in the higher vibe timelines, okay, and also with the low vibe and the lower vibe, as you can see, it's the same with the lower vibe. If you're on a low vibe or a lower vibe timeline, then you're of course going to get outcomes in your life that are resonating with that vibration. Okay, this is the dense, very dense energy. Okay, so this is like where like hatred and all of that can reside here too. Okay, and the mental illness of separation. Okay, all of that. All right. Whereas like the love frequency is one of the highest frequencies, right? That resides in the higher vibe, the higher vibe vibrations and within the higher vibrational timelines. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see here, this is you, the dot represents you, right? The circle represents your reality. Moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, you're creating new realities. Okay. So now, as you can see in this example, you're moving, shifting from lower vibes, from the higher vibe to the high vibe, to the low vibe to the lower vibe, back up to the low vibe, back up to the high vibe, and up to the higher vibe. Now, an example of this would be, you could go through this entire sequence within 30 seconds. Okay, say you're watching a video on TikTok, for example, for those of you who know what TikTok is. Say you're watching a video and it starts out really inspirational, and then it takes you into some lower vibrational truths, some things that maybe take you into anger or take you into sadness or hopelessness. Okay, maybe you uncover some information within the video that makes you feel like, oh my God, that's happening to people, and it takes you down to this lower vibe, and then it shows you what's being done to help these people, and it takes you back up to the high vibe, and then they show you how you personally can help, and it ends with you feeling empowered, like, oh, I can do something about this. Okay, you can be taken through this roller coaster ride of vibration, of realities and timelines and vibrations in 30 seconds. This can be drawn out over a minute. You can go through this kind of sequence time and time and time again over the course of, an hour when you're watching a movie, or when you're having a conversation with a family member or a friend, depending on what you're talking about. Do you understand? So this can all happen. You're shifting between these different timelines, these different vibrations, and in and out of these different realities from moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Okay? So this is why within the quantum structure, it's very important for you to be very aware of your thoughts and your emotions. Okay? Because all this shifting in and out of your timelines and into different realities, moment to moment, and your vibration, your frequency, your resonance at any given time are dictating what's coming next in your life. This is why this information is so important to understand scientifically and spiritually. Okay? See, this is where we're headed. This is real knowledge, okay? Because for far too long, we have separated science and spirituality, which is why we've been running in circles chasing our fucking tail. Because this is why people haven't been able to explain the real goings on of what it means to be human, what life is, why we're here, what's going on while we're here, how does all of this work? The reason that before we didn't have a lot of answers to that is because we separated two things that are in a harmonious marriage forever. Okay, science and spirituality. This is why fields of energy science and quantum physics have unlocked our ability to be able to answer a lot of these questions, is because those two things never were meant to be separated. Okay, one does not exist without the other. We cannot explain spirituality without having a depth of understanding of science, and we can't explain science without having a depth of understanding about spirituality, about the spirit world, okay, and the laws of spirit, okay, the laws of energy, the laws of sacred geometry. You understand? The laws of vibration and frequency, okay? So this is how all of this comes together with science and spirituality, to understand how we manifest our realities from moment to moment to moment, how we show up in our own lives to create outcomes that we desire, how we manipulate everything, physical matter outside that is in our external environments through our energy and our atoms, our electrons, okay, interacting with the atoms that exist outside of us, okay? This is how this works. You understand? And I know this might be heavy information for people who have never heard of this, or really aren't in this space right now. But that's why I'm just trying to keep this very surface, very simple right now as an explanation, just to give you some kind of foundational structure to stand on when you're listening to the rest of what I have to say about this, to kind of bring this information home, okay? Like I said before, real quick, I'm definitely going to create a video where we get heavy into the science of this. This is my jam, people. This is my jam right here. So, okay, I'm really excited about it, but we're going to get back to the video now. I hope that helps kind of bring some of this information home. All right. Now you can see also how this is with manifesting. Say you're vibing pretty high and you are... Okay, my camera is acting a little weird there. Hold on. Say you're vibrating really high and you're working hard, you're doing what you need to do, you're also helping people, you're doing all of these things, but you end up having a low vibrational situation arise, okay? Now, people would ask, well, how is this happening? Because I'm keeping my vibe high, and I'm praying, and I'm meditating, and all of these things, but this happened. So this shit doesn't work. Something's broken. And it's not that anything's broken. There are a couple of things that could be happening. Perhaps at a time where you were vibrating low, that outcome didn't come at that time and instead is coming in now, okay, as an anomaly within your current timeline. Now, another thing that could happen that's more likely than that is that you contracted in to have that experience at that time, okay? And so if you've watched my previous videos, you know how that works with the experiences and contracting in to experience a plethora of things for soul growth, okay, and for the growth of your soul family as a singular unit as well. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're hearing me speak about these things, I'm speaking about soul contracts, okay, and the experiences, both good, bad, and everything in between, that we contract in for our evolution. Okay? And oftentimes when we're experiencing low vibrational things, well, every time that we experience something low vibrational, it's caused by one of two things. Either we manifested it through our low vibrational thoughts and feelings, or we contracted in to experience that thing in order to activate us, in order to elevate our soul. Okay? So the only reason that you will experience anything in this life are because of one of those two things. Okay? Sometimes both of those things are in tandem, right? Working together. So, quantum structure. Now you understand how we are master manifestors and we are constantly creating our future, our near future and our future in the distant future, in the way off future, okay? Everything that we're doing now, everything that we're thinking, we're feeling, okay, is creating a resonance, all right? We're just balls of energy here, okay? When you really start breaking down our cellular structure, when you really start breaking us down on a physiological level, we are just straight up energy conductors. And our brains are receivers. We're thinking, our brains are creating, and we're like coming up with a thought. And our brains this brain, we have 3 brains in our bodies. We have, the brain. We have this brain, we have the brain of the heart. It's a brain, okay? And then we have the gut, which is the first brain. Your gut actually created everything, all of this lovely meat suit that everybody's walking around in today. And your brain, your head brain, is actually a receiver. You think that your brain's coming up with all this wonderful stuff. It's not. Your brain's just receiving messages from your higher self, from your spirit team, receiving messages from your external environment, okay? Your brain is only a receiver. That freaks people out when they first know that. I know it threw me back too. Because I was like, wait a second. So that so that means that I'm not as glorious as I thought I was, one. And no, I'm kidding. But anyway, and that's why your higher intelligence is considered your gut intuition, right? Your gut intuition, because that's the higher mind. You know, that's the mind that actually perceives and sees things very clearly, sees things for as they are, and also doesn't have the limitation of time. Okay, so your gut, you know, they call it the gut, right? Because it is the first brain. Okay, it's the mastermind for your entire body, which is why most illnesses are also begin within the gut. Okay, think about it, research it. It's real. So your first brain, your gut, which is also attached, we've attached over time to our intuition for very good reason, is the higher intelligence that sees very clearly the past, present, and future. Okay? That's why strengthening our intuition and learning to listen to our intuition, learning to tap into our intuition, engage with our intuition on a regular basis is extremely powerful for us, because it gives us a level of clarity that most other people don't possess. Okay? And what that does also is it makes it a lot easier to make decisions when you have clarity. Okay? When you can see very clearly which direction you need to go in at any given time, or who to stay away from, or who to allow into your life. Okay? All of that is very intuitive. Like, your intuition will never steer you wrong in any of those very important decisions, right? So anyway, so the three brains within the mind, the three brains within the body, and we utilize all of these brains, our energy conductor, as a body, as a vessel. Okay, this is all utilized to manifest, because it's just energy interacting with energy. All right, so this is how the quantum structure works. In order to fully understand it and in order to fully utilize it the way it's intended, you have to see yourself as being energy first. Okay? You're an energetic being first. You are not, the full capacity of you is not in a material, is not in the flesh suit. Okay? These intricately designed bodies, okay, are miraculous, and they house our true essence. Okay? And our true essence is energy. Okay? Everyone's talking the soul, the spirit. You know, that's what they're talking about. Consciousness, frequency, sacred geometry. Okay? It's not in a physical form. All right? We create matter through our frequency, through our resonance, in order to have these experiences in this realm and in many, 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 a mind-boggling amount of other realms as well. And because we're master manifestors and we're always creating, here's another question I get a lot. Well, how many realms are there? Well, how many solar systems and how many Earth-like planets are there? An infinite amount. It's not a finite amount, because we're always manifesting. We're always creating. Okay? Through our consciousness here on Earth, I want you to also think about all of the issues that are going on right now on this planet. And there's a reason why there's a huge push to get people to Mars and to colonize that planet. You know, humans here on Earth are already manifesting another Earth. They're already manifesting another place to go, to call home for a lot of different reasons. Some people just want the adventure. Other people are like, no, we need it. That, you know, Earth is going to die. Earth's not going to die. But, you know, she is going through a metaphorical death, you know, just as we go through metaphorical deaths. If you have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart, you go through many deaths over the course of your life. Oh gosh, I've been dead for real once, but I've been through many metaphorical deaths too in my lifetime. So death and I are very well acquainted. We're good friends. We're good pals. But so you can see how important it is when you understand that you are energy and you are constantly interacting with energy. Okay. Now, another term that you hear thrown around a lot is collective consciousness. Collective consciousness. Collective consciousness. What the hell does that mean? What is that? Well, it's the hive mind. It's the way that we're all connected. And how are we all connected? By this, what they call an invisible grid, through energy. Okay? It's not unlike the intense, ancient awesomeness underground grid that trees are connected. Every tree in the world is connected by this grid, by their roots, this root system that touches every other tree, you know, and it's this matrix right below our feet of this ancient energy and this ancient wisdom that's all connected all over the world. The trees are very intelligent beings and they're all connected by this grid, but in a way that we can even see it. Okay, with our technology, we can see all the connectivity going on, and it's incredible. Okay, for human beings, we're beginning to get there to where we can see our energetic connection. Okay, that is the matrix, that is the grid. All right. And because, and it makes sense, we've all come from the same place, you know, originally. All right. And over time, you know, and over our different incarnations, we have spent more time in certain areas and certain star systems and with certain groups of people, groups of entities. Okay. And that's where a lot of the, I guess you could say, our differences, you know, start coming in. Okay. But when we go back to the first dimension is collective consciousness. The first dimension, the whole, the one, you know, when we're all just the triple blackness of space, the God energy, the divine mother, the infinite spirit. Okay. That's where we're all from. That's who we all are. Okay. That's what we're a part of. That's our home. That's where this all began. First dimension. Okay. Now, it's really important for us to understand frequency and vibration, because this is how we created the different dimensions, okay, through frequency. Now, this air, okay, is not just an essential life force. It's not just here because we need it to breathe in order to survive. This, you can think of air as a plasma. You can think of air as an energy conductor. Okay? It's just not in the physical. And why not? Because of the frequency it holds, it carries. Okay? Particle-wise, molecularly, everything around us is created through the particles. Anything that's solid, okay, isn't really solid. All it is that it's vibrating so high that we perceive it to be solid. It's a perception of our mind, okay? If I were to look at this thing and somehow my mind does not believe that it would be possible for this to be a solid object, it would dissolve right through my hand because of my intention, my belief, and because of my energetic interaction with this energy here. Okay? Now, I'm going to break what I just told you about this. I'm going to break this down for you in another video, and I'm going to use all the scientific terms for this to really take you through this. I might even create a PDF too that's downloadable that you all can keep and have for yourselves to reference back to, okay? So, but right now I'm just going to cover it in very surface manner, okay? Because I'm just giving you basic information so that you can better understand the quantum structure and how this works. You know, how are we manifesting with our thoughts and our intentions, you know, with the way that we feel? How does that work? You know, because our thoughts and our emotions are energy, and we are energy, okay? And energy always has the power to manipulate other energy. It's always either in this harmonious dance, or it's bouncing off of each other, or it's attacking, you know? It's always interacting, okay? So, okay, sorry if you just heard that. I might try to cut that out, but it just started raining here, and then with the tin roofs, it's like super loud, so I had to pause for a minute there to let that pass, and it's probably going to come right back to you. But okay, anyway, when I was speaking to you about, you know, energy interacting is constantly interacting, okay? So you can see how, since we are energetic beings and we're constantly vibrating on a certain frequency, given our thoughts and our emotionality at that time, now you understand how we are manifesting things, situations, people, you know, different vibes, okay, different environments. We're always manifesting these things. So this is also why it's so important that when you experience a low vibrational outcome, something that throws you for a loop, something that makes you sad, or something that devastates you or traumatizes you or whatnot, it's important that we learn how to bring our vibration back up as soon as possible, okay? Now, this is not some Pollyanna bullshit. It's not about going through life like, oh, nothing's ever wrong, and nothing's ever wrong with me, and I always feel good, and I'm always, you know? That's not what life's about, and you're not supposed to always be in that high vibration, okay? But you absolutely do need to know how to pull yourself out of a low vibrational reality into a high vibrational reality, because you don't want to stay in the low vibrational reality long enough to then have to suffer all of the negative outcomes because your vibe was low for so long, okay? So that's definitely something that, you know, I'm going to just keep hammering on that, because everyone needs to know how to shift themselves out. And some of you will be able to shift yourselves out through music. Some of you, it will take working with crystals. Some of you, it will take praying. Some of you, it will take going into deep meditation. Some of you, it will have to be a very mental process, which means that you will have to make a list. Like, this is how I feel. This is why I feel this way. And this is okay. But what happened to me to make me feel this way is done. And now I am moving into, I'm shifting myself. You're writing all of this down as if it's like a checklist. Like, I'm shifting myself into a higher vibration because I have learned X, Y, and Z from this low vibrational outcome. I've learned the lesson. It's done. The outcome is over. And now I'm moving here. Okay? Some of you, because if you're very analytical like I am, you're going to have to map it out for yourself. and it's going to have to make sense, and you're going to have to convince your mind that this is what we're doing, you know? And then your vibration will follow the plan, okay? For other people, for some of you, it's going to be through magic. Maybe you pull yourself out of that low vibration through practicing candle magic, bay leaf magic, maybe, you know, anything. Utilize water, utilize any of the elements, you know, to pull yourself out of that low vibration. This is why our ancient healing practices are holistic, meaning all-encompassing, meaning circular, just as life is circular, okay? It's very important not to pigeonhole yourself into one thing, all right? Sometimes when I'm in a low vibration, all it takes is for me to do frequency therapy for an hour. It's just, well, I'm in this low vibration because this happened. And because I'm feeling like this, I know that it's affecting my root chakra, or I know it's affecting my heart chakra. And so I go on YouTube and then I, you know, listen to a healing frequency, and in an hour, and I feel better and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes for me, it takes multiple healing modalities. It's the frequency therapy, it's salt baths, it's, you know, aromatherapy, it's, you know, all of these things combined, you know, it's having to go into meditation, it's whatever, you know, it depends on how deeply I've been wounded, or, you know, how traumatizing the event was, or whatnot, you know. Sometimes it takes 5, 8 different healing modalities going on at one time, okay, because our process of going through life is very multidimensional, okay? Meaning that it affects us in a multidimensional manner, okay? It's not linear. It's not just this one thing, this one line of energy. It's not just this one singular thing. You know, it's like when you experience something fucked up, it can affect you in a plethora of ways. It will definitely affect your mind and your emotions, but it'll affect your body. Sometimes that thing will be expressed through your financial health. Sometimes it'll be expressed through the manner in which you love. Okay, sometimes it'll be expressed through your creativity. Okay, or it will be expressed as a block in one or all of these areas. So understanding the multidimensionality of energy is understanding that when we heal, it's not just this straight line, okay? It's not just this one thing that we do over and over and it works every single time and that's all we need to focus on, this quick fix, this magic button we push, and then boom, we're back to 100%, you know? So maybe some of you need to hear this to free yourself, to never limit yourself on what you need. You know, some of you need to be hiking out in nature, and you need to be doing salt baths, and you need aromatherapy, and you need frequency therapy, and you need light therapy, and you need, you know, a session with a Reiki master, and you know what I'm saying? And maybe you need to be doing some drumming. I don't know, okay? But this is the spice of life, and this is the beauty of life, is within its multidimensionality, okay? Because within this flow and within these practices, we learn about who we are, we learn about how our energy interacts with other energy, we learn how to manipulate our own energy. Super important to be able to do that at any given time, at all times, okay? So it's very important that we release all of those limiting beliefs and those traps and those bonds saying, no, this is the only remedy, or, you know, if you do this one thing, every night for 30 days, you're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all different and we all get wounded in different ways and on different levels, and we all heal in different ways. Okay? There's no magic pill to swallow, and there's never just one thing that will do the trick every time for you. Okay? So release yourself with that. Okay? Be free with it, experiment, do what you need to do to bring yourself back to center. Okay? Within the quantum structure, it's very important to feel all the feels. Very important to feel disappointed when you're disappointed, to grieve when it's time to grieve, you know, to be sad when you're sad, be angry when you're angry, to be happy when you're happy, you know, to be joyous, you know what I'm saying? It's very important to allow yourself and your energy to flow, all right? However, when we're in a low vibrational state, it is very important that we don't stay there and we don't become stuck within that vibration, okay? Because vibration is very powerful. So we create these realities and these timelines along these different timelines, okay? And the resonance is so strong that it's easy to get stuck, okay, in a low vibrational resonance, especially because so many other people are vibrating that low. When you have a large group of people vibrating very similarly along a very similar timeline, that's a lot of energy. It's magnetized. So it's just sucking people into that left and right, okay? So even if you're anywhere in the vicinity of that energy, it's really easy to just get drawn right into that, okay? Because like I said, because you have a lot of people, we're all master manifestors, okay? And our energy is lit and we magnetize a lot of, we magnetize at a very high level. So if you're in the ballpark of where the majority of humans on Earth are residing, it's really easy to get sucked into that energy. That's a intense force, okay? And so for people who are in an environment that's very negative, but that person is very high vibe, it is very difficult for that human to maintain their high vibe when, all of the magnetized energy around them is just like pulling on them. Like, no, come down here with us, and not even that those people want that, it's not always a conscious thing. It's not always what people even intend to do. It's just the nature of energy. It's the magnetic nature that we all possess, okay? So that's something to keep in mind, is to allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to be where you are, but also know how to bring yourself out of it, okay? And like, there's some times where I feel like I'm floating around, where I'm not very grounded. I start getting this anxious feeling too, and it's like what's happening and my mind's racing, and it's like I can't quite grasp things, like I can't get into something and really see it clearly or diagnose it or anything, and I'm just kind of in this, like I'm floating. And so I take literal rocks, stones and crystals, and I have to hold them in my hands while I meditate to ground me, to bring me back to earth, to bring me back to this space at this time and in this moment, Sometimes I need a physical thing to remind me that I am right here, that I'm right here in the here and now, okay? So some of you may need to acquire, get ready to storm again, need to acquire an object or something that signifies that you are a human being on planet Earth, and that this is an object that when you hold it, when you grab it, when you hold it, it brings your energy back down, back here, okay? So I'm telling you all of this because it's very important for all of you to understand, to know all of the different ways that you can direct your own energy to get you to where you need to be. All right. So for women and men who go through a hard breakup or something like that, you have to feel all those feelings, and you do have to go through all those feelings of loss and grief and mourning, that entire process, right? But you don't want to stay there, and you don't want to be there for long. Okay, you want to feel the feels, you want to reflect on everything that was said and done, you want to extract the lessons from that, and then you want to be able to enact your plan of all your healing modalities that shoot you right back up into a high vibe, okay? And you want to do this because, again, in the quantum structure, our vibration dictates our outcomes. It dictates our environment. It dictates all the people in our lives at any given time, our opportunities in life, our money, our health, our wellness, okay? So it's very important, if you want to maintain a life that is mostly pleasurable, that's mostly good and mostly aligned with your desires, that you know how to elevate yourself when it's time to elevate yourself, okay? And a good question would be from that, well, when is it time? How do I know when it's time to elevate myself? How do I know when it's time? Well, you need to be intact with your intuition. And also, there is a technical aspect to this. Once you have really dug into your experience and you have extracted the lessons from it, meaning you've asked yourself the right questions. This happened, it made me feel like this, I reacted in this way, what did I learn from this? Did I react in the way that I was meant to, that I should have, okay? It led to this, now what did I learn about myself here? Could it be that there's some kind of insecurity here, there's some kind of abandonment issue here? Could it be that in this instant, this moment when this happened right here, it was because I was feeling of low value? Could it be that I attracted this person into my life because they remind me of my abusive parent? Could it be that this job opportunity went south because I couldn't stand up for myself, because I didn't see myself as being as valuable as I really was? What is it? Sometimes we have to do the mental work here. We have to get in and dig and figure shit out and pick everything up and like, what is this? Why did that happen? And why did I make this decision here? And all of this shit, okay? So roll your fucking sleeves up, because sometimes in order to get over something, in order to heal from something, you do have to go through a mental process. It's not all up in the air, you need to ground your process as well. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's emotional, and it's physical too, because you can utilize your physical body to push energy out, okay? This is how you can utilize exercising, okay? There was a time in my life, a span of about 4 years, where I almost exercised myself to death. And the reason that I did that is because I was processing some heavy emotional shit. And the way that I moved that energy out of me, and the way that I released it, and the way that I went through my forgiveness process, forgiving myself and forgiving others, is through a very intense physical process. And at the end of my workouts, I'd be in the gym 5, 6, 7 hours. At the time, it was also my job. I was running a fitness facility at that time, head trainer, doing fitness classes, and doing my own workouts. So my entire existence for that period of time was just working the body. And that was just my life, for that period of time. And I really fucking burnt myself out, and I overtrained my body horribly. I stressed my body out so bad. But that time was invaluable because it helped me. It gave me a physical outlet. I utilized my mind, my emotions, and I pushed that energy through in a physical way. Okay? We literally have tools at our disposal for healing. Any tool can be a tool of healing, just like any tool can be utilized as a tool of destruction. Okay? So you're not limited in what you can do to change your frequency and change your vibration. For some of you, it's a physical thing. For some people, it's a matter of doing something physical to shake you out of your mental cage, okay? So for people who live very predictable lives, people who have structured their lives to be very predictable. I wake up, I do this, I go here, I work, then I'm here, I'm conversing with these people. You're always seeing the same people. It's always in the same environment, especially if you're living in a small town, or if, everything you do is, pretty regimented like that. Sometimes it's easy to get stuck because how do I want to say this? The process of life, the process of our evolution, the natural progression of what it means to be human, okay, is very fluid, but very adventurous as well, okay? This is kind of along the lines of where the saying comes, if you don't use it, you lose it, okay? So if we're not activating ourselves, if we're not pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone from time to time, if we're not experiencing new things and meeting new people, and we're not being, like I said, being activated by different experiences and different environments, then it's very easy, because we shut down certain centers of our brain, and our scope, our perception of ourselves and of life becomes very narrow, okay? Because we're just we're like a fucking hamster in a cage. We're just constantly experiencing the same shit day in, day out, okay? It makes the mind weak, but more importantly, it makes the spirit weak, okay? Now, this is damage that is left here upon your death, thank God, but this is damage that is carried out in one's life, and it's very important to not allow yourself to be placed in that position in life, okay? It's very important. Let me reword that. It's very important for you not to place yourself in that position in life, okay? No one's doing it to you, it's you, okay? So we have to keep our essence flowing. We have to keep our essence free to experience, free to live, okay? Do not put yourself in a cage. And if you feel like you've been in a cage in your mind, you feel like, sometimes this happens a lot to people too along their ascension journey. They're like, I feel like I'm fucking going crazy and this, and I feel like I can't make sense of things, and I feel like, and when people come to me like that, I'm like, yo, sit down. Let me put these rocks in your hands. But then you need to do something. You need to go somewhere you've never been. I don't care if you have to drive there or you fly there. You need to change an environment about that quick, okay? You need to jump out of a fucking plane. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, you need to do that. Do you need to go to another state just to have dinner at a restaurant you've never been and converse with the dining staff? Have a conversation with somebody you don't even know, okay? You have to keep your essence flowing, okay? You have to keep yourself alive. And in a very practical, physical manner, keeping yourself alive means exiting your comfort zone from time to time. Okay? Because stagnation is death. That's a saying for a reason, because it's true. All right? On every level. Okay? So if you're always doing the same thing, you're always around the same people, you've been at the same job for 40 years, whatever, you know what to do now. Okay? Change is the spice of life. Change is the very thing that keeps us well. Okay? That keeps us mentally alert and stable. Okay? That keeps us, encompassing our life force. All right? Because there are a lot of people walking around on Earth right now who obviously don't know much about the quantum structure and how all of this works, but who are dead, who are just completely and utterly dead. They're just like, if you were to exchange that human being with a robot, nobody would even know the difference. Especially not the AI we have nowadays. Nobody would know. It'd be like, Susan, did you get a haircut today? That would be it. But anyway, so I hope that you all know a little bit more now about the quantum structure, how it works, how we're always, our realities are circular, how we're always creating new realities, one after another, okay? So you have a reality, you're vibrating here, and then something happens to you and it puts you in a lower frequency. You're on this timeline here in this reality, and then boop, you shift down to this timeline in this reality. Okay? And then if you're happy again or something happens and you raise your vibration, boop, you're back up to this timeline. And we have varying timelines. We have a lot of different timelines over the course of our life. And all these different realities, okay? And we're deciding every moment based upon our thoughts and our emotions what reality we're in and what timeline we're in, on what timeline, okay? All right, lovelies. Well, thank you for tuning in again. Until next time. All right, my loves. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for spending your precious time with me. If this message resonates with you, please give this video a thumbs up. It grabs the attention of the YouTube algorithm so that my videos get recommended to more people. Please share this video with your family and friends. This is a great way to spread the word and connect me with people you think will benefit from my knowledge and wisdom. I'd love to connect with you in the comment section. Please share your thoughts and questions with me and just tell me how you're doing these days, okay? Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications. This is free to you, so if you'd like to support me and my spiritual and creative process, subscribing to my channel is the best way to show your appreciation. Also, I upload exclusive videos, extended videos, artwork, and book recommendations along with book PDFs to Patreon. I also post all videos you see here on YouTube to Patreon about a week or two in advance. So if you'd like to become a Shin Dynasty tribe member, you'll have exclusive access to content no one else can view. And once we reach the 200 patrons goal, I will be live streaming on Patreon and making myself available for one-on-one mentoring sessions only for my patrons. So that's pretty exciting. That concludes today's video. Thanks for spending time with me today. Sending you all much love. Shin Dynasty, signing out.